Hey everybody, in today's video, we are going to build our own obstacle course for agility training for less than $100. I know usually we're into the bird hunting or basic obedience drills, but I wanted to dabble in the agility world a little bit. I've been watching some of those on YouTube and it looks fascinating. I think it's some of the coolest stuff ever. And so I wondered, what would it take to train a Labrador like mine and get them used to the agility training. I think it looks like a great mental as well as physical exercise. And so I did some scouring. I found my 4 favorite obstacles, and now I'm going to build them today with you for less than $100. Before we get to the video, make sure you click the little subscribe button and then ring the little bell so you get notified every time we crank out a video. Also, if you like this video and other do-it-yourself dog projects that we've done, make sure you hit the little like button down below. That kind of keeps my motivation stoked. And it lets me know that these are some of the videos that you enjoy watching and learning from. I think that's it. Let's go back and I'll show you the 4 obstacles that I'm choosing to build. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is our dog walk, and what I've got is enough pieces here cut out so that I can do I can do 2 stands or 2 bases. That gives me a ramp up, a walk across, and a ramp down. I'll get the planks later and show you how I put those on there. But in order to do that, what you're going to need, you need 12-inch pieces of 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC. You're going to need 16 1-inch tees. You'll want 16 of the 1-inch PVC pieces cut into 6-inch pieces, and then you're going to want 8 of the elbows, the 1-inch elbows. Now keep in mind, again, this is for 2 stands. So if you wanted, or 2 bases, if you wanted 3 bases, you'd need to add half of this again to your total. But to get started, basically what we're going to do is we're going to just take our 2 of our 6-inch pieces and 1 of our 12-inchers. I like to use a little rubber mallet just to kind of make sure that things get seated in there the way they need to. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Here and here. Tap those down. Then we're going to take my elbows and build the tops first. And again, I don't use the PVC glue. You could use the PVC glue if you wanted to make these permanent. I like to leave them in there so that if I want to make it a little taller or shorter later on, I can adjust these. So I actually don't use the PVC cement. And then I'm going to take one last tee, put them on here. More of my 12-inch. This is going to be my cross section at the bottom. And now you can see it kind of starting to take its shape. Now you could use elbows at the bottom, but I like to use the tees just because this gives it. This is going to give it some traction into the grass when I'm in the backyard using it. So that's why I'm using tees on the bottom instead of the elbows like I do at the top. And then just follow suit. And then 2 more of my 6-inchers. Let's see, where are my elbows? And then 2 more of my 12-inchers. Okay, there's your two stands. I'll add the planks in just a minute, but first I want to get to some of these other agility skills, some of the other agility tools that you're going to use. Let's get to the teeter-totter next. All right, the next part of our agility course that we're going to build is the base for our seesaw. And for that, again, we're still using 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC. You want four pieces cut at 14 inches. You want one piece cut at 12 inches. 6 pieces cut at 8 inches. You want 2 pieces cut at 2 inches. And then you'll need 6 elbows and 4 of the 1-inch PVC tees. So the first thing we're going to do is build our base, a rectangle base. I'm going to take 2 of my 14-inch pieces. Let me move these over. Move these over here so I can build my base. Take 2 of those, and I'm going to put elbows on each of these corners, and I'll use the sledgehammer in just a second. Now I'm going to want 4 of my 8-inch pieces and my tees. Those will go in the middle like this. And now we'll just kind of go around and tap everything into place. Let's see, something doesn't quite look. Oh, I used the 12-inch piece. That's the bolts. All right, set that aside. You don't need that right now. Let's get an actual 14-inch piece in there. And then we'll actually have a rectangle and not some kind of a weird, goofy piece that we can't do anything with. Okay, so next we need the 2-inch pieces and our tees. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert that 2-inch piece into the bottom of one of the tees, like that. And then those go into, the 2-inch piece goes into our tees. Go into our tees like that, setting it up. Take your next 2 8-inch pieces. Those go like so. And now you've got a 14-inch piece across here. And that is your first level. And you might think for a full-size Labrador or Golden Retriever, that's not very high. And it's really not, but it's really a good starting point. It also works for littler dogs. But when your dog is advanced and he's comfortable with that movement of the seesaw going down or the teeter-totter going down, we're going to have our other 14-inch piece up here, and we can move, if I can get that over there. And then eventually we'll move that plank up here onto the top, which gives it way more movement. And then if you want, you can replace these 8-inch and you can get up to a 12-inch seesaw and give it just even more movement. Again, this is just kind of a backyard agility course. The 12-inch piece, we're going to cut this in half, and I'm going to screw this to the bottom of the plank, and then it will kind of slap in place here. That'll help keep it in place so it doesn't slide off when the dog's going over it. That's it. There's your seesaw. There's your seesaw base. Let's move to the next part of our course. Next, we're going to build maybe the most easily recognized of all the agility obstacles, and that is the tire jump. To be within regulation, you want to be somewhere between 18 inches and 24 inches wide. For this hoop, for this tire PVC hoop, I'm actually building it a little bit bigger because I'm using it to introduce my dogs to the obstacle, and so I want it to be a little bit easier at the beginning. Also, I'm actually building the stand so that I can raise and lower it. As the dogs get more proficient, I'm going to want them to be jumping through it instead of just stepping through it when we get started with the training. And so to begin, let's just kind of tell you what you need. I'm using 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC. The Schedule 40 just means that the wall is a little bit thicker, which will give it some sturdiness. But I didn't think you needed the 1 inch like we did for the bases of our last two obstacles, because this isn't going to be weight bearing. This is going to be something that hopefully they'll be able to just jump through. So you want 2 pieces of 3/4 inch PVC cut at 24 inches a piece. You want 8 pieces cut at 12 inches. You want 6 of these little T couplers or T joints. We want 5 pieces cut at 5 inches long, and then you want 2 pieces cut at 4 inches long. So I'll put those there so you can see the difference. We also need 8 of these 45-degree joints. It's up to you. You can use 2 or 4 of these couplers, and then you need 6 pieces cut at 9 inches. I know I wrote 12 on there, but I ended up cutting them down because it ended up making a hoop that was too big. So cut these to 9 inches, and you want 6 of those. Let's go ahead and build the hoop first, and then we'll build the base. For that, we're going to take our 9-inch pieces and our 45-degree joints, and we're going to build the top half, and then the bottom half, and then we'll join them together like this. So I've just used all of my 9-inch pieces, and I've got 2 halves-ish or so of a circle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 5-inch pieces. I'm going to put those into each of these like so, and then I'm going to join them with a T, but I want to make sure that this connecting part of the T is facing outward. I don't want it facing into the hoop because this is how it's going to connect to the base. So let me get one more of these. So we've got the circle, we've got the tire part. Let's build the base. To do that, you're going to want 4 of your 12-inch pieces. These will be the legs, and one of your T's. And that will form the base that way. And then one of your 24-inch pieces goes in here, like that. And you want a T on top of your 24-inch piece with one of your smaller 3.5 to 4 inches there, like that. And then you're going to take one of your 12-inch pieces and stick it up top like this. Now let's do the same on this side. 12 inches for the base, 24-inch for the upright. Our last T. Add our 12-inch here. And now we can go ahead and add the hoop and give you an idea of how how tall it's going to be. So this is kind of the introductory stage for a bigger dog. If you had a smaller dog, you could cut these pieces down. You could cut them down to say 6 inches. That'll give you a smaller hoop. 7 to 6 inches. That'll give you a smaller hoop. And then you could put you could cut this to 18 inches. That would get this piece much, down around right here. Then you could use that for stepping through. That's if you've got smaller house dogs. Where I'm using Labrador Retrievers, this is perfect for them to step through and kind of get used to that. The purpose for these up here, and the reason why I'm going to use the couplers, is that when my dogs get proficient stepping through at this level, I want to raise the bar, literally actually. I want to raise the bar and require a little bit more of them. And so to do that, I'm just going to pull this off. Make sure you watch our upcoming videos. If you've never taught a dog how to go through an agility course or any of these obstacles, make sure you watch. In the next week or two, I'm going to be introducing my dogs to each of these obstacles. So make sure you catch those in the next week or so as I start crashing those out. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe below so that you don't miss anything. Let's get to our last obstacle. That's the weave. All right, now for the last of our agility obstacles, we're going to build the weave course or the weave poles. And to do that, you can make this as long and add as many weave poles as you want. I'm going to limit it to just 8. I've got 8 of these 3/4 inch PVC again, just like with the tire. These are 30 inches. I think that's pretty standard for the height of the weave poles. So I have 8 of these cut at 30 inches. Then I've got 7 of these 21 inch 3/4 inch PVC pieces. This is going to be my spacer. This is going to be how much distance is between each weave pole. I've got 2 of these 8.5-inch pieces, and this is going to be my divider at the end from the base to the first pole. Then I've got 10 of my T's, and then 4 of my 4 pieces at 18 inches, and these will be the base or the foundation at the ends that keep it from tipping over. So to build this, simple enough, especially if you've been doing some of the other things that we've done. This might be the simplest of all the construction that we've done. There's your first base. You've got 2 18-inch pieces, and then you're going to take an 8.5-inch, and then you're going to slide another T with it facing up. There you go. Then your spacer, your 21-inch spacer, like so. Another T. Another spacer. Again, these are your 21-inch pieces. Have it. If you want these, if the wobbliness of it is bothering you, or we may find that when Odin starts going through them, he's knocking them over, I may add some PVC glue to the long pole down there just to keep those T's straight so that he doesn't do that. I do want to be able to remove these though, so I don't know that I'll ever put the PVC glue in these ones, in the uprights. And you'll understand why when you get to the video on how to teach your dog to do the weave pull, because you're going to want to be able to use these separate from the base. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is to make the planks for the dog walk, and I just have a couple of 1x8s. I've got 3 of them actually, and 1 8-foot section and then 2 4-foot sections for the ramps. And I'm just going to screw a standard door hinge on the side of the main plank. And then what I'm going to do is attach that to one of the 4-foot planks, and now I've got my ramp. The nice thing about the hinges is it's going to make it super easy to put this away when I want to get rid of it and move it out of the yard when we got to mow the lawn or something. Do the same on the other side, and you've got your dog walk. All right, for the seesaw or the teeter-totter or whatever you want to call it, first thing I'm going to do is find the middle of the board. And I want to screw my PVC piece anywhere from 3 or 4 inches off center so that the seesaw rests at one side or the other. You want it, once your dog's done, you want it to go back and rest on that downward side. So the next thing I wanted to do is to build some brackets on the side of this to keep the plank from slipping off. So I took a T and I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again and created these 2 little brackets. And now all I'm going to do is take a panhead self-tapping screw and drill that into place, one on each side, just to keep the plank in place as the dog's going over it. All right, there you have it. There's my 4 favorite obstacles for the agility course that I'm going to put in my backyard, at least the ones that I could build on my own. We've got the weave, we've got the seesaw or the teeter-totter, we've got the tire jump, or in our case, just the hoop jump, and then finally the dog walk. I'm super excited to get Odin introduced to these. He's never done anything like it. I've never done anything like it. So, maybe some of you out there might have some tips. You might recognize some things that I did wrong or that I did right. It's going to be, at this point, it's just taking what I know from previous dog training experiences in other settings, and I'm going to try and transfer that over into the world of agility dog training. So hope you stay tuned for those videos. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please click the like button down below. Also the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And I'll see you in the next video.